Johnson, and this is Focus on Liberia. Hit it! From Cape Mount to Cape Palmer, Mount Nimba to Atlantic Ocean, Obomi Hills to Pokonjre, to educate, elevate, and promote. Yeah, focus on Liberia. For Liberia, Liberia. For Liberia, yeah, 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 yeah. From Monday to Sunday. From Monday to Sunday. It's focus on Liberia. Talk about home affairs. Hey. In diaspora. Current affairs. Hey. Reliable information. History. Ooh. Talking about culture. Hey. Politics. Education. Entertainment. Hey. Business. Sports. Advertisement. Articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday. Focus on.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another edition of Focus on Liberia Live on Kear Radio. My name is Dennis Jar, and we are broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. In this edition of Focus on Liberia, we are going to be dealing with the topic towards national unity. What is national unity, and what is not national unity? What are the elements that are needed to make national unity possible? What are those? How can these elements be inculcated or cultivated in our country, in our society? What are some of the specific cultural, historical, or ethnic, social, and political divisions that continue to hinder this thing we call national unity? And what can we do about it going forward? What role can our faith-based institutions play, our community leaders, our youth leaders, Diaspora Liberians, individually, collectively? What role can we play in fostering national unity? Is there a government strategy towards national unity? And at the end, we want to look at solutions. What can we do? Let me welcome the lawyer's daughter, Glendy Jean Jr. Welcome, Glendy.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Dennis. It's great to be here this Saturday morning. Hello, everybody.
Thank you. Let me welcome our producer in Monrovia at Kear Radio, George Goer. Welcome, George.
I'm doing great. It's good to be back here this afternoon. I'm sorry, folks, for the past days we not been on the radio due to some technical issues, but at least think that we are back on the radio.
Thank you. Let me welcome Dr. Jones Otavius Male. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, host, and my greetings to fellow panelists.
Oh, Dr. Male.
We want to welcome all our viewers from across the globe. If you have not done so already, please share the show, invite someone, and let's get started. National unity. I want to start with saying what is not national unity, or why is national unity important? So Glendy, when you got the topic about national unity, why do you think it is important that we should talk about this?
So I think for our country, Liberia, the topic I found it to be very interesting, especially now when we're hearing and when we're seeing that a lot of the political players, they're feeling that there has been no collaboration with the government. They're feeling that the president did not reach out to them So there is a need because each of those political groups represent a group of people. So just that topic alone, I think it's a significant one to talk about as Liberians, because we want to be able to encourage our current leaders to be able to reach across the aisle so that Liberians as a whole will feel that we are united and we want to push our country forward.
Thank you. Dr. Mali, why is the topic of national unity significant at this time in our history?
Well, it's significant for three reasons. One, we just came from a 16-year bloody civil war that helped by and large to divide us in many different ways. Two, we have not been able to heal our differences as a people. And three, like the lawyer daughter just said, there's a need for the political party that are standing by to have that cohesion, you see, to have that cohesion, to see themselves as national developer, to see themselves working together as one political family, you see, because when we are united, it becomes difficult for even the enemy to penetrate. But when we are divided, even among ourselves, I mean, there's always a loophole. So there's a need for unity. But the question now is, what type of unity do we really need? Is it the political, the economic, the religious, the family, or all combined?
Thank you. Thank you. I also want us to start, because there is a common misconception when we talk about national unity. So I want us to start with what national unity, when we say national unity, what we are not talking about. What is not national unity? Number one, uniformity of opinions, for all of us to talk the same thing. All our opinions are uniform. That's not what we mean when we say national unity. Or we are suppressing diverse voices, dissenting opinion. We don't want people to say anything. Everything we say should be one, because let's be united. That's not national unity. We also think that the absence of conflict is not national unity, that it should be like in heaven, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. That is not the national unity we're talking about. One party we can have 3, 4, 5 different political parties. We should all have one party so that we can speak with one voice. That is not national unity that we are talking about. The lack of forcing people to be together, assimilation, forced assimilation. I was talking to somebody. I said, "Oh, I like the Pele dance you did with the crown song," and she said, "Well, I don't see Pele dance, crown dance, or this. I just see Liberia." I said, I didn't say it, but in my heart, I said, well, that's wrong. There's nothing wrong with having a crown dance, a gribble dance, a Congo dance, whatever dance. It all makes us beautiful and diverse. So we can force people to all do Pele dance because we want to be together. All this diversity helps. So forced assimilation is not national unity. Also, the lack of critical thinking. We should all follow the leader. When the leader says, let's go this way, we all go there. We don't think critically for ourselves to make informed decisions. That is not national unity. I want us to talk more about that, Glendy, and give some examples. When we say national unity, we don't want people to be misled that we are saying everybody should be just one.
Absolutely. We also don't want people to keep emphasizing tribal politics, tribalism, and ethnicity. Like, I am from this tribe. So, for example, President Boyka is from Lofa County. We should not see that everybody or a greater number of percentage of the people in the government are from Lofa County. So those are some of the things we want to look at. We also don't want to look at hate speeches. We don't want speeches from the government to be targeting one group of people. We want it to be uniformity. If this group is doing wrong, let's come to a consensus and be able to approach those issues. We don't want you talk a little bit about a political polarization of partisan loyalty, where everybody in Unity Party will be in a, I mean, yes, it's expected, but that will not be national unity when everything the government says a Unity Party person agrees with that. We also should not be discriminating against other people. Inequality is a huge thing. When people feel that they're being discriminated against, or that things will go a certain way for a certain group of people, it does not bring about national unity in a community.
Thank you. Still on the definition, Dr. Male, when we talk about national unity, we are not saying we all should be one. We all go to the same church. We all eat the same soup. We all dance to the same music. We all join one political party. That is not the national unity we're talking about. Your thoughts?
Well, in the first place, the issue of national unity, I don't want to believe strongly in my spirit that it's achievable. First of all, let retrogress a little bit. Look at our cultural setting as Liberians, our cultural setting. We have the indigenous who have got some value system they get attached to. Then we had the settlers that came, they also have their own value system. So based on the value, people are tied together. Maybe we go to the Masonic hall together, and so we become brothers. One of us become president in a group, and so the rest of us have got the chance to get a job. In the indigenous setting, maybe I went to the Polar Society. All those who are met in the Polar Society are my friends, are my brothers. And so when we move into the city, I become a minister of public work or whatsoever. I tend to look for my friends when we're down there in the bush. You see? So the question now is, looking at it at a national level, how can we mitigate it at a national level? It becomes very difficult. And the reason here is that
Dr. Mali, let me stop you. And that's what I said. That's what I started with. What is not national unity? National unity does not mean we should all go to the Poro. National unity does not mean we should all go to the Masonic temple. National unity does not mean that we should do the same thing. That's what I wanted to get out of the way first. We are a diverse group of people. We have, say, 16 ethnic groups. We speak differently. Some people have, they can do certain things. Some people cannot. We are in different political parties. We are in different churches, different mosques, different religious beliefs, and that is fine. National unity does not mean that we should all be of one religion. I wanted to just get these few things out of the way before we come to the definition of national unity. Complete your thoughts.
Okay. But then if we want to take that path, then I would like to say that national unity is perceived differently by different people. What you may consider national unity may not be national unity to me, because it's at a national level. So we expect such value system to trickle down into the society, but I don't perceive it that way. So in other words, it is difficult to achieve national unity. There are possibilities to achieve some level of unity, but in a macro group.
Did we lose him?
You can't lose me. All right. So now let's go to what is national unity, and I want to set the tune. What national unity is. As I said before, national unity is not that we should all speak with the same voice, but we should be united and cohesive as a nation despite differences in ethnicity, in culture, in religion, or political affiliation. We should have that sense of solidarity and collective identity. We are Liberians, right? And that will foster a shared commitment to the values the goals and the well-being of the state? What is it that we hold dear? For instance, if we say we Liberians would like to take care of people, we all believe that and we all do that. We can rally around something. So national unity is that cohesion. It doesn't mean we all agree. Okay, you have your political party, I have my political party, but what we agree on is we are not going to go fight each other. We will all go to the ballot box. We run. Whoever wins, we inaugurate the person. We move on. So we can still be cohesive in spite of our differences in our cultural or religious belief or political affiliations. Let's talk more about national unity, Mr. Dr. Mali, and give some example based on the definition I gave, that even though we are different, but we can still be, there still be cohesion. We can still have shared values, shared purpose, and the need to say we are all Liberians and we need to work together. That is national unity. Your thoughts?
Yes, I agree with you. I think on paper it's very relevant, but in practice, I don't see at what extent can it be achieved in practice. Because everything we're talking about national unity, we cannot negate the traditional cultural value system of it from this whole national unity thing we're talking about. All right, but let's go back to Ghana, Mr. Ja. We're in Ghana. I experienced exactly the topic you're talking about today, where Ghanaians held together against foreigners, where when one Ghanaian is touched, the rest come to rescue. And their national unity is even represented in their policy, it's even represented in their constitution. For example, when someone all left school, we're fortunate to have a part-time job with the UNHCR. And when I got hired, what happened? The Ghanaian came and said, even though you graduated from one of our schools, you cannot work in this country. You will carry your education back home. We have more Ghanaians. And they quoted a policy in their immigration that says no foreigner can be employed in this country except where there are no qualified Ghanaians. They are united on that, every one of them. All right? So the question now is, what are those elements that unite us in Liberia? Because as
that would be our next question when we talk about the elements of national unity.
Okay.
But xenophobia is not national unity. That's not the national unity to say, well, let's hate foreigners. But because even with the story that you gave, I don't believe even if you naturalize. In fact, Ghanaians, people that were Ghanaians in Liberia that went back, they were living on the camp with us because the Ghanaians did not accept them. I don't think that's the national unity we should be opting for in Liberia. Glendy, your definition of national unity, and what are some of concrete examples of national unity in Liberia?
So, and I always want to go back to the political parties because they play a major role in drafting us, in showing that Liberia has a united front. My simple example can be since the government started, the boycott government, I think to some degree, boycott government has reached out to some political parties that are not reaching back out to them. And we do not see a united front. We do not see where we see Unity Party, we see Liberty Party to some degree working with the government, but we do not see those. We do not see CDC. We do not see ALP. We do not see ANC. That for me is a serious issue, that whether the government has reached out or not, it still is on them also to be able, in the interest of national unity, to reach out also. That is where I'm always stuck, that, oh, the government hasn't reached out, Burger hasn't called, but what have you done? Why is Liberia's interest not first? National unity has to be their country is first. Liberia is first, not people. When we put our Liberia's interest first, then we will not worry about all the other things that we worry about. Then we are looking forward to ensuring that everyone is at peace and that regardless of our differences, we're showing up and saying that we can work together.
Thank you. And Glennie, so to you, national unity would mean we must work together on the government level. But well, what is that shared value? What is that thing that is bringing us together in order for us to be able to work together? What is it?
Liberia. Liberia is the common denominator. Our country is the focus. If we want best for Liberia, we want Liberia to succeed, we want Liberia to progress, we want Liberia to move forward, then it shouldn't be because Becca didn't call me. It should be because I want Liberia to succeed. Whether Becca calls me or not, I'm going to reach out.
And I reached out already to be Sino superintendent. I have not called yet. So is that... Oh, you are laughing.
Your call will come.
So, Dr. Mali, what does national unity mean to you?
Well, I think national unity to me, it means to function as a cohesive group. And in the midst of functioning as a cohesive group, we may have different value systems. But we have to meet as a cohesive group. All right. Then if we can promote that at a government level, then probably we might achieve national unity. Like what my co-panelist just said. She narrowed it to the government, or let's say the political party. The political party have got different platform manifestos. They have got different models of operandi. So if you come from other parties to get fitted in there, it becomes a problem. You see? But if we can work together as a cohesive force, as a nation, believing in one thing. But again, at the end of the day, do you know that national unity can be based on discrimination? Because we come together to discriminate against one person, at least that is holding us together. When you are talking about the issue of Ghana, yes, they may not see it as discrimination. They may see it as a means of holding them together. Like for instance, when Ghana fought the British, they were holding together and they succeeded. What caused them to hold together? They held themselves together as a cohesive force against the white. And they succeeded with most of their wars in Ghana. But they also had their own little differences. But yes, when it came to Ghana, they all stood up. So the question now is, what are those things that can cause us to stand up together as a people, despite our element of indifference?
Right. So from that example, what that tells me is the Ghanaians, they were fighting against colonialism, which is a bad thing. So we shouldn't see it as they are just fighting against British. So yes, because even the devil can unite, even kill us, rebels. They united against killing us and chasing us during the war. Before then, we see people united against people from Nimba. During the war, people united against Crown and Mandingo. All these different things. So it is not all unity, and that's not what I want us to look at, but what is it? What is that thing? So even rebels can unite, terrorists can unite. But when it comes to national unity, so the Ghanaians' unity you talk about, they were going against colonialism, occupation. Somebody came and occupied their land and said, no, we can't have this. Let me welcome FOL political analyst, my colleague from Waplo Institute in Kilibo, Kanweken, all the way behind God's back. He used to put his on his hair and cross the water to go to school. But now he's here. And before he gets to school, Guess who are in this classroom? Goats and sheep. But now Mr. Sharif has traveled all the way and he's here. Welcome, comrade.
Thank you so much, Dennis. It's good to be here.
And Mr. Sharif, it's important to give these backgrounds so that we see how far we have come. Now you don't have to be in a classroom that the ghosts have visited just the fortnight ago.
Yeah. Good morning to everyone, fellow panelists. That is an important context. People have to understand that there's a lot of us. There's a lot of us that came from humble beginnings, and so it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't matter where you are as far as your environment, and you laid that out very well in my formative years in elementary school in Kalipo. And in that school, we had some very good teachers. We just, the environment, the building itself, and all these different things around that school, kids and friends of mine that came from nearby towns and villages, have to cross, as you mentioned, they had to put, their uniform on their heads to cross the creek. Today, decades later, those places are not fixed. It's still there.
And that's why we need national unity. But comrade,
just to learn that also, coming from that background, and then, back to my father in Zwedru, and then to the University of Liberia. So when you talk about Kalipo, oh my God, nobody, nobody in Monrovia, the elites in Monrovia, don't know what you're talking about. So it has been, for me, mentally, a mission of mine to say, I am part of the downtrodden and I have the scars. I have not only just started speaking for the downtrodden today, it's part of who I am.
Thank you. Now you drive a luxury car, work with the government of the United States. But comrade, with Mr. Sharif, we are talking before you came in. We're talking about what is national unity and what is not national unity. I just want to hear your 2 cents before we move forward to the elements or what will make national unity work. Go ahead.
I think the mistake that we often make, the policy makers, our leaders often make, is that they want to force national unity. Some of them want to force national unity on the throats of the people. That's not national unity. Some of them want to proclaim a day, Unification Day, and you're calling all the presidents, Madam Ellen Johnson, Sirleaf George, Mr. Weir, today's Unification Day, I just want us to unite. That's not national unity. National unity, we can unite around our symbols. Dennis, you and I were united based on, we may be from the same region in Liberia, but we didn't know one another in Liberia, Dennis. We knew one another, as a result of our tragedy, of our national tragedy, the Liberian Civil War, when we met in a refugee situation. Ever since then, the thing that mostly united us is around ideas, around projects. I mean, so, I don't have to like somebody. I don't have to like my neighbor, right? But if we're united around something, and what is that? Here in the United States, I probably don't know half of my neighbors. I haven't spoken to half of my neighbors, but we're united probably around the Philadelphia Eagles, for example. Some of us may be united around the national anthem. Some of us may be united around the flag. Some of us may be united around, those kinds of symbols and what our country holds. National unity is not something that you push down the throat of the people. National unity is not something that you go out there and talk about it one day because you're happy, or someday because you want to get on the non-permanent seat on the Security Council, and you try to talk to former presidents and say, let's unite. You start to lobby former presidents and take them on a ride and some stuff like that. That's not national unity. National unity is more than that. The country, for example, when it comes to Liberia, Liberia can unite around, the historical achievement that the country have made. The Liberians can unite around their national anthem, for example. They can unite around their motto. I've heard a lot of discussions about, no, the love of labor that didn't bring us here. I'm one of the natives who believe that, the love of labor, yes, indeed, brought all of us to the shores of Liberia. Where were we 400-500 years ago? I mean, so people in Liberia, the idea that motto should only apply to the returnees, recaptured Africans, and former descendants of former slaves, it's not correct, because there is a lot of us, including myself, who are descendants of, if you will, immigrants. After the colonialists, the imperialists divided us into segments, into different, localities, into different countries. So yes, the love of liberty brought all of us to Liberia so we can unite around something like that. Dennis, there was a time, if I may close, there was a time that we united around our local sports teams, Borrowed and Invincible 11, or the Lone Star, right? So George, when we are played, it didn't matter if we was playing for Invincible 11 that I didn't like, but when we played for the national team of Liberia, when you and I were in Zerikori, I mean, we rooted for him. James Debye, when he played, people rooted for him, even if they were part of the Invincible 11 soccer team, because of the fact that we are Debye and we were incredibly good, Jonathan Stugby and others. People united around a national cause, and in some ways, don't tap into that. Don't tap into the sentiment of Liberians' love for sports, and he promoted soccer in Liberia, and Liberia was going somewhere under the Samuel Doe administration. We can unite around. We can start with those things. Dennis, one of the things that President Doe said during the war, he said that, I went to Nimba County in November, I think it was November 89. And the people told me, I believe November 88. He said, they told me that they will not use their country, that we're united. They will not use their county for, to destabilize Liberia. He was right there. He was forcing national unity down the throat of those people. That's the national unity. So there's a whole host of things that Liberians can unite around: our food, different things of that nature, our language, for example, that we call dialects. We can unite around those. In my view, that's national unity.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, this is a focus on Liberia. We are live on Kear Radio in Monrovia. Let's look at the elements of national unity. What are those things that will make national unity possible? And I want to give you few, and we can dive into them with example. Let's think about, for example, tolerance. The first thing is we are different. There is no way, we can say all of us, we are the same. Even the colloquial we speak, there are some people who know it better than others. We speak different languages. We have some people believe in one God. Some people believe in more than one God. Some people believe in nothing. Some people believe in anything, right? But tolerance can be that although you are adherent to African traditional belief and I am Muslim, we can still live together. I can tolerate, even though I'm Christian and you are Buddhist. But so tolerance, let's look at that, level of tolerance that can foster national unity, because we're never going to be all the same. You are from one political party, I'm from another political party, but tolerance. Dr. Male, let's talk about tolerance a bit and in more practical terms. How does that foster national unity?
Well, it fosters a national unity in two ways. First, to embrace the concept of being tolerant, you first of all need to disabuse your mind of being proud. Proudness, you got to go away from proudness, because if you allow proudness to get in the way, then that undermines your ability to be tolerant. For instance, maybe I may bring in some expression, right? And you may perceive it differently. And maybe I may be the one that probably I'm this professor at this school, and I'm not tolerant to the view and expression of my student. And some of their view, they have been given the opportunity to express their feelings. But from a cultural background, I don't allow students to just express their feeling, especially that I see myself as an older man. So the question now is, can I be tolerant to the voice?
I'm on the show.
Oh, am I invited?
Yeah. So the question now
Go
is,
ahead.
yeah. So the question now is, am I prepared to be tolerant, to listen to the view of my student in the class? Or am I prepared to stay that tradition person? I see myself as an elder in the school, and no child supposed to be speaking, and you don't express your view, and that's being disrespectful. You see? So if I negate that portion out, maybe swallow my pride and put tradition one side and say, look, kids, express your feeling. What is it going on? Then with that, if you allow that to permeate the classroom, then you have some level of cohesion going on. All right? So then how can we then improve that on the national level? On the national level, it's two ways. You know, in Africa, we have the imperial presidency all over Africa. You see, even how you talk to the president, it has to be monitored. People watching you, people are so sensitive to expression. Oh, you disrespectful to the president. Oh, you calling the president by his age. Oh, you don't say, oh, the president look sick. You know, so the problem now is when no kind of a tolerance start with the president, and the president come out and say, look, I mean, you can call me any name, I'm okay. You can get on the radio and tell me how you feel about me, I'm fine. So if that is practiced, it trickles down into the population. Then it's like, okay, now our president is accessible when it comes to we expressing our feelings. But if I go on the radio, I say, oh, our president, he look old, man. The next thing, security try to round you up. The next thing, you've been classified as being very disobedient. The next thing, someone try to hunt you. So it becomes very, very practically impossible for tolerance to permeate our system at the national level.
We'll go. All things are possible. Glendy, let's talk about the elements.
It's good, but I just see it practically impossible.
Yes, it's possible. Glendy, what are some of the? I'm talking about the elements of national unity, and we are starting with tolerance. And you can talk about that and even go to more elements of national unity.
So Dennis, there is a common thing that people follow the leaders, and that's how I want to approach this. If the leaders that we have in our country are tolerant to their people, then those who follow them will also live by their examples. If we have leaders who are not tolerant to what others are saying and they're getting upset, then the people that follow them will assume that, oh, my leader is upset about this, and then they'll go after other people. So if our government officials, our leader, it can be even in a church, it can be in a simple organization. It is difficult sometimes because tolerance and respect, they have to go together. You can't disrespect people and expect them to tolerate what you're going to do to them. Tolerance is important in national unity, but the key driver of tolerance in our society are the leaders we have in different groups, in my opinion.
And the leaders, you don't mean Government alone.
No, it could be you. You from FOL. You're one, and you're someone of you may not be a government official, but someone we respect. You tolerate some of the things we say and some of the things that we do. And the fact that you tolerate that and you tolerate it from your panelists, we in a chat room, we also sometimes we're able to curtail ourselves because this is not what Dennis is going to tolerate. So we can say certain things we can say that. So it has to come from the top. We are the one that's going to be the driver of what we want society to look like as leaders.
Thank you. Mr. Sharif, let's talk about elements of things that will make national unity possible. If I put it that way. I started with tolerance, you can give more. You are muted, sir.
Sorry about that. You mentioned tolerance, and political tolerance to me is that act of allowing for. You don't have to do anything spectacular. The act of allowing for even free expressions and the respect for the rule of law, the laws that you already have on the books. You can allow the opposition, those of us with different opinions, the space and time to express those opinions, because at the end of the day, we all have some kind of ideas for developing the country. Then is what you see oftentimes is the lack of tolerance. So as we speak now on this issue of tolerance and national unity, you have opposition members now that are being charged with burning the Capitol. Is that tolerance? I don't think so. Why are you just targeting the political opposition? Why aren't you questioning the police? Why aren't you questioning people within your own political institution? These guys, and the problem with all of this is, if people say if nothing is fixed, if nothing is spoiled, don't try to fix it. So what the administration is now doing is something that have led us down the road of instability. So if you will, the lack of tolerance for the opposition is leading to something already. We knew this was going to come about, right? This is the president who a few days ago was calling all the other leaders to talk about national unity. So how is this now that's going on promoting national unity? First of all, you're not tolerant of the opposition. If you were tolerant of the opposition, Mr. President, then you would not orchestrate a coup d'etat in the legislature. So that's one aspect of national unity. Again, under that umbrella, the respect for the rule of law, the laws that you already have. I know that the Constitution, I've often said this, for the most part, the Constitution is awful. But you can start from there. You can, there are some good things in there. You can start by respecting that Constitution, by allowing for free expression, allowing for religious liberties. The thing about Liberia is, from the leaders down to the rest of us, people are not too tolerant. And when the leaders start to be intolerant, then the entire nation is intolerant.
Thank you. Other elements I wanted to speak about briefly: respect for the rule of law, upholding the guardrails of national and civic institutions, freedom, share understanding of history, and that is very important, willingness for leaders to enable integration and unity, civil society participation. All these can foster national unity. Glenda,
and then it's just real quick, if I'm gonna add, I know Glenda has to come in. Go ahead. Right now in Philadelphia this weekend, Samuel Colgott is coming down here to host a town hall meeting with Liberians in the diaspora, right? Samuel Colgott, and I know people are going to flock to that occasion, But Samuel Colgart is one of the most divisive, politicians that I have ever seen in recent times. He has achieved nothing, and he campaigned on an agenda of division, of misogyny, and all the different vices in the Liberian society. He reminded us of the vices, of the things that have divided us, the things that pull us apart, the things that made us go against one another in the past. And now he has reminded us about those ugly pasts. The ugly past is still here. So when you talk about Liberia's ugly past, we usually, historically speaking, you say our ugly past. It's still here. And the election of Samuel Colgart just brought to the limelight once again that we have not veered away. We've not taken any major steps away from our ugly past, because now, you elect someone like Samuel Colgart. And today, Samuel Colgart is in the United States. So the first place they always come, instead of going to Nimba County, instead of going to Sunny Coley, instead of telling the people of Nimba County what legislation he's going to sponsor to improve roads in Nimba County, to improve schools in Nimba County, he's in the United States. Like, what are you doing here? What are you doing in Philadelphia? What can you do for us? There is nothing you can do. So he's here on government dimes, government money, spending big time. And you have people, intellectuals, good people, decent people, who are going to flock to this occasion. That's why we are where we are as Liberians.
Thank you. Let me welcome Mr. Siku Keller, who is joining us all the way from Canada. Welcome, Siku.
Thank you for having me. Good morning to everyone.
Thank you. Glennie, we're talking about elements of national unity. What are some of those things that will make national unity possible?
Collaboration. Collaborating with people who don't share your views. Talking to people who may not be of your environment. Asking others' opinion. Calling it, like the educated people, they always do symposiums. Putting a group of people together and saying, how do you think we should approach this? How should we do this? What is needed in our country now? I think collaboration is something that's missing in our country. And if we're not collaborating one with another to be able to advance the agenda of Liberia, it makes national unity difficult, because it's not one group of people that know what Liberia needs.
But what will it take for us to collaborate?
It would take talking to one another. It would take inviting your enemies. It would take inviting somebody who's against you. It would take reaching across the aisle. It would take asking Liberians, what are some of the things? It would take going to the market and asking the market women. Going to
because if you want, why I ask that, because if you want me to collaborate with you, you got to show me, right? What is it that would also spark my interest so that I can collaborate? Because right now, if you call me and say, come, let's collaborate on, my example may not be a good example, but something that I don't like or something that is not in my interest, definitely I will not, right? So what can you do now that will make me want to be a part of what you want us to collaborate on?
But you got the answer, because the first thing when you're calling and saying that, and when I'm calling you to say I want us to collaborate, what I want us to work on this project together, I've now given you the opportunity to say to me why I'm not going to work with you. And then when you tell me that I'm not going to do this, then I come back and say, okay, I know I've done this that you may not have aligned with, but this is what I'm willing to do. This is where I want us to go. And that opens up the dialogue for us to be able to work together. Okay, I can promise that we won't do it this way, but give a suggestion on how. I always like to refer to Dr. Mepaya. This is one of the things she said in her first speech to Liberians, that when I come to the University of Liberia, I'm going to also ask the people who are protesting, don't just protest. Tell me how we can fix this. Tell me how we can move on. And I think that's some of the approach which you have. You want us to collaborate. Why are you not working with me? These are the reasons why I'm not working with me. Okay, let's come together. Let's see what we can do to fix it so that we can work together. Collaboration right now in Liberia is lacking. It's like Liberia is a one-party state, sad to say, and we have to be able to do something where we're reaching across the aisle if we want to have a progressive government in a progressive country.
And Glennie, I will stay with you for a while. So, in practical terms, what is it Liberia today that we can collaborate on, or what are some of the ideas that we can collaborate around? What are some of the projects?
So you take, for example, in the foreign service, there are a lot of other people who may not be a part of the Unity Party who have worked in foreign service before, that they could have reached across the aisle to and say, how can you come instead of saying, let's get new people? In the government jobs, there are other people who are qualified, who know how to do the work. If it's not working, and if you have the same group of people over and over and they're not advancing the agenda or they're not working, change them. I don't have to be from your party or from your background to give me a job. I don't support any political party. I support individuals and what their goals and aspirations are. That doesn't mean that I have to align with a particular party to be in the government. That does not mean that I'm only going to go out and reach out to Unity Party partisans to say, how can we run this country, or what are some of the things we can do? It means that I can come to somebody from CDC and ask them. It means I can go to somebody from ANC who has the technical know-how and say, how can we fix this? How can we do this? That's what it's going to take. We can't just only centralize the issues and affairs of the government with only people that we know within our clique. We got to reach out across the aisle.
Thank you. Let me go to Sekou Keller. He's a co-host on FOL show Roundtable Africa. So anytime Sekou speaks, he speaks Africa. Sekou, we're talking, national unity, what is now, what it is, and what are some of the elements that can foster national unity, specifically our country, Liberia. That's what we're talking about.
Yes, thank you very much for having me, and my greetings to everyone on the panel here. Honestly, there's a lot we can unpack here, but for the sake of time, we just take a few. So basically, when you talk of national unity, is in most time in Africa is a slogan. They use it as a slogan, political slogan, just like the way we use democracy as a slogan, but we don't really mean it. And what we mean is that we want to elect one man to be king for a while. But then we use the word democracy because what has happened to us as a people, and we don't want to accept it, is that we have inherited a thought by proxy. We copy and paste institutions from the West without really going through a cultural evolution in our own countries. So when you copy and paste, you really don't know what to do with it because it has not really, your culture has not really accepted it. So you don't know what to do with these copy and paste institutions. So let's take national unity. They will come together and have a program and everybody gets speeches at national unity. You don't find that in other developed countries. Why? National unity is supposed to be institutionalized. It's the institutions that make people to unite, because in a country, people unite around an idea. The idea of which this country was built, the idea that gave us shared values, the idea that bring us together, that make all of us to be wanting to take arm to defend this country. That value is what we unite around. And for all of us to share that value, we need institutions that protect our interests. So when all the institutions have failed, the justice, can I get justice in Liberia if I want to? Maybe if I come from certain ethnic group and I want justice, will I get justice? Will the justice be partial because they will say my name is Sekou, so I won't get justice? So I don't find myself to be part of the country. That would be one to see. Are you treated differently because of your religion? Are you because of your ethnic group? Or because of what part of Liberia you come from? So these are things that the institutions in the country have not really dealt with, the educational system as well. What are we being taught? We've been bent on, you can see, when people talk of national unity, I said, but in our tribes, we are united, right? If you go to every tribe in Liberia, why are you united? Why are people united with their tribe? It's because of value, beliefs that they're united. Why are people united in their religion? Nobody send police to people's houses every Sunday to say, go to church. You wake up, you want to go. And the mosque, Tabaski just passed. All the Muslims were united on one cause. So they are united based on that belief and that ideology and dogma for which they build their religion. Now the country, why are we united around the flag, just for the sake of the flag? As a Liberian, what do I gain from the country? What does Liberia provide for me? If I hold a Liberian passport as a Liberian, what do I benefit? So these are things that call to question the institutions and how does the country really show love and compassion to the citizens. I came here to Canada a few years ago. I was able to get student loan, go to college, graduate, and then now I'm beginning to pay. Well, an ordinary Liberian citizen go to the Liberian government and say, I need $10,000 to be able to do this course, the university course, and then I'll pay back later. Will the Liberian government ever listen to you? You are not a child of a minister. You are not connected. You don't know anyone. You just some kind of zakpaguye from some kind of village. You come and you apply to the Liberian government that I need $10,000 to do this. Who will listen to you? So people don't even feel part of the country. So this so-called national unity is about the elite. It's about the elite meeting, discussing how they can share the money. It's not really about the people. If it is about the people, then the institutions have to be fixed. The justice system have to be fixed. The educational system have to be fixed. The national welfare. The people need to benefit from their country.
Mm-hmm. So in other words, the element of national unity will be the rule of law,
Yeah.
equal opportunity and stuff like that. Dr. Mali, I want to hear your thoughts as well. What are some of the things that will foster national unity?
I think Sekou just took us in a very different direction, which of course it has even broadened this argument further. The question now is, what is Liberia doing for me, for which I should live my life for Liberia? But again, let's retrogress a little bit. The family is the smallest unit of society. It's the family united in there in the first place. They see family move to constitute a church or a mosque. They meet there. And the government is drawn from these places and other institutions, right? And the institution under the presidency has got its own philosophy of governance. It trickles down. It's not affecting anyone, you see. But let's get back to the issue of adding to what Mr. Keller just said. The issue of patriotism is a key factor when it comes to national unity. Do we have it? That's something we need to ponder over. The issue of perseverance and even diversity. Those are all in the diaspora. Our perception about a lot of things in Liberia varies a lot. You see, our sister was just talking about something that is related to the merit system. Should we have a government that will employ people based on the merit system? You don't know me, but you employ me on the basis of my qualification? Do we have it? This is how unity come about. All right? The justice system, is it fair to everybody? Or only those who have money and they get justice? And if I don't have money, I don't get justice? You see, these are some of the means we get united. Are these things happening? If the answer now is no, is those who in power, what have they put into place for us to achieve these things? We have civil society organization. Is that their focus? Or these civil society organizations are become part and partisan to some of the ruling elite? And they have forgotten some of the most important things? You see, now I see even the chiefs, down the line, our chief used to bring the villagers together. Some of them never went to school, but they were able to unite the people in our various villages for those of us that were born in the villages. All right. Now the chiefs, they were in kotsu with grape in their hand and looking for political job in the cities. Who is carrying on the unity in the villages now? Things are in disarray. So the question now is national unity achievable in Liberia? And my answer is no.
Thank you.
On paper, yes. Practically, no.
And why?
Good. Because then there were now the political diversity come to play. Then there were now I go to my sister.
Doesn't mean that.
No, I come in now.
Okay.
Now this where now I want to focus on my sister point. The political parties. All political parties have got different manifesto.
Of course,
they have got different ideology. All right.
They should.
So okay. So if your ideology is not suitable to me, I can be part of it. I can take that belief and run with it. And if I win, those who believe in it, they're the one I bring closer to me. Those of you who did not believe in it, you'll have to wait for your time. This is what's going on in Africa. So how do we achieve the unity? So that one area that is undermining unity.
Thank you.
Let me make a practical example here. Now we've been hearing His Excellency, he's trying to unite the people. We're talking about unity. So what I'm seeing, I go back to my brother Sekou. We talk more about unity than putting it into motion.
Thank you. Thank you. There are certain things that will hinder national unity. Historically, you know, that there are things that we find. We all see the challenges in Liberia. Let's look at some of those things that will impede national unity and what we can do to overcome those. Let me start with you, Mohammed.
Before Mohammed come here, I left one point out. The issue of what do we rally around? We rally around corruption. I forgot to bring that one up.
Thank you.
As I mentioned earlier, national unity is not something that you forced down the throats of the people. It's not that. You know, we on here, we are united around something that we are doing. Each and every one of us believes in something. You believe in perhaps, you know, some believe in educating and some believe in informing. So you believe in informing and educating the Liberian people by coming on here to do these weekly analysis. And some of you come on more often than others. But at the end of the day, you believe in something. And that something is bringing us together around this platform. So we don't have to like each other. We don't have to share the same ideology. But we are, you know, our thoughts, you know, our desire is for something. And that unites us here. So, you know, when it comes to the nation, what you see, you know, the honorable gentleman just mentioned, you know, people are united around corruption. So when you're united around something like that, you don't go forward. National unity in Liberia, what impedes the Dennis to go directly to your question, you know, the fact that it shouldn't be forced down the throats of the people and the leaders think that this is the way to do it. You dedicate a day called National Unification Day. You don't need that day. Cancel that holiday. You don't need it. Why do you need a National Unification Day for? You don't need it. You know, I do know historically there was a time that, you know, the majority of the population was left out of the political arrangement. You know, there was a time that, you know, there was Matilda Newport day, for example, which was very divisive. There were times that there were symbols that were divisive, but guess what? You can, make good laws to get rid of those things. You get rid of, symbols that are divisive. You can make good policies to do those things. So you don't have to really dedicate a time and place to say, well, this is unification now. We must unite. You don't do that, because what is going to unite you ultimately is your respect for what is going to unite your country if you're the president of the republic is the respect for the rule of law. Opposition, tolerance. When you look at countries around Africa, countries that are stable, it seems to be that these countries are respecting the rule of law. They're respecting their term limits. They don't go out there setting arbitrary time limits. You look at Botswana, for example. You look at Cape Verde, for example. Countries like that. You look at Senegal, for example. Countries like that are stable around something. They're doing something. Liberia can learn from them. But instead, what Liberia is doing, Liberia is charting its own course, and Liberia gradually is deviating from the things that it's supposed to be doing. It's been over 2 decades. The Civil War, since the end of the Civil War, it's been about or over 2 decades since the war ended. What has Liberia really, really done in terms of bringing the Liberian people together? People have been further moved away.
Right. So my question is, what has been those things that kept us divided?
Dennis, 2 decades later, do you have justice? You don't have justice. You don't have justice for criminals who committed excesses against our people. And what you've added to that now is economic excesses against our people, the economic degradation, and they're putting it in our faces, Dennis. So that's not going to unite us at the end of the day. So what you have, I was listening to Gray. I don't know if he's correct about this. He accused Gregory Coleman of being a former NPFL fighter. So that's your police director. And, there is a comrade of ours who's the Liberian envoy at the United Nations, who was one of the brains behind the NPFL. These people have never been questioned about their role in the excesses that were committed against the Liberian people. So you don't unite your country that way. But these things have been swept under the rug, Dennis. You look at what's going on. One of the panelists on one of our shows said, these are the people that are celebrated in Liberia. So you have to belong to a group of people that destroy the country to be celebrated. You have to belong to a group that's very, very corrupt, overly corrupt, in a country that they consider poor, that I don't consider poor, to be fashionable. Corruption is fashionable. Malfeasance is fashionable. Promotion inequality is fashionable. And what they're even doing now, that I'm looking at, Dennis, from sitting out here, that I'm looking at, I'm even looking at what they are trying, the powers that be are trying to do. Everyone now is focused on 2029. So instead of working towards those things, Sekou mentioned strengthening our institutions. No, they're not worried about strengthening our institutions. They're worried about weakening our institutions in the lead up to the 2029 elections. What's going to happen is the courts will be weakened. What's going to happen is, because you heard, what's my proof? You heard some of the Unity Party representatives saying that they're going to impeach judges. They're going to impeach a Supreme Court justice for her ruling the other time. What's going to happen is they're going to weaken the National Election Commission because someone wants to steal the election. Is that promoting unity? That is not promoting unity. That's promoting disunity in the country. These guys, trust me, they're going to steal the election. I'm saying this right here in 2025. they're going to steal the election because someone thinks that
let's hope not.
Someone, it's going to happen. Someone thinks that he's so young, that he's a new heir apparent, that he is so young and this is his time. So he's doing everything to get that opportunity. So it'll be a shocker to him if he loses that election. So he's not going to accept the result of the election. They did not accept the Supreme Court ruling against them. They staged a coup d'etat in the legislature. That is not uniting your people. It's not uniting your people when you charge one group of people with a crime that they didn't commit. There is no evidence of that, but you're going after these people. That is not uniting your people. You're dividing the country into two. You got some people in the Southeast who believe that they're not part of the Liberian state, and you have others in the North who are vociferously campaigning, who are vociferously attacking others because they're seeing this administration as their time. This is our time now. When you have that, and the leader who does not speak up, doesn't hold any press conferences and stuff like that, then it's even a terrible recipe for the forward development of your country.
Thank you. Sekou, you started already alluding to some of those things that have impeded national unity in the past. I want you to give more and give me what can we do about it?
Yes. So thank you again for the opportunity. So the thing here, CEO, first of all, if we talk about unity, we have to ask a question. Who are we uniting and who is divided? Because before you talk about uniting people, you have to establish who is divided and who are these people that we are uniting. I know we are talking about Liberia, but then Liberia is a diverse country. So let's look at it. For me, when we talk about unity, we are talking about classism, the rich, the powerful, the elite versus the people. We have not united them. Say 1847, it has been this classism that has been going on. Starting with the True Whig Party, there was this group of elite who thought they have the right to rule the country. And it is their right to do whatever they want to do. Then came the so-called revolution that turned into arguably a tribal revolution. Eventually it became that. And then one group of people were benefiting. So the class issue have not stopped. It is always this 1% on top, and the rest of the people only know about their country during election. So how can you unite these two people? That's a problem. We're talking about ethnic diversity, tribalism. Some people talk about the Southeast. The last speaker just talked about the Southeastern people, how they feel since this election. What has the president done to be able to reach out to unite the country since the election? We don't know. Then there is a political tribalism that started now. If I'm in this party, it's almost like a religion. I don't want to hear any other thing from this other group of people. And once you are in power, you can break all the laws, because you know when you get out, the next person that will come out will also break all the rules. So there is this political tribalism that is also going on. So to unite people, for me, the institution have to be strengthened. If we don't fix the institution in that country, there's nothing you're going to discuss, because somebody wants to get justice, but they have to be in your party first before they get justice. That's not real good. So Wakai, for example, I don't want to take side, but everybody knows that this president has done a lot of things that he shouldn't have done. Okay, and he has broken a lot of laws. The last people also did the same thing. So when the institutions are weakening, there is no way you will build unity, because everybody feel like they need to get jungle justice. They need to get on the street, or they need to do something unlawful in order for them to get justice. But if you have strong institutions, we don't have to have chaos. If I have a problem, I go to the court, and the court be able to look into the case and give me justice based on facts. Those are the things that we need. Between the poor and the rich, and we've been telling Liberian people that one of the reasons we fought the Civil War is because the elite have neglected the people. Liberian people do not benefit from their country. High corruption, people are rich, and 99% of the people are poor. Liberian people need dignity. They need to look into this. There's nothing like having government passing around all these positions, all this big grammar they are speaking. As long as our roads are not paved, People don't have hospitals. There is no housing, no job. There's nothing you're going to fix in that country. The dignity that Liberian people deserve, you don't give it to them. Speak all the book, have all the conferences, nothing is going to work out. It's very simple. Every country around the world, that's the purpose of having a country, is for you to have that dignity, for you to be able to at least live as a human being. But when you are in a country, there's no healthcare system, it's broken. If you go to JFK, there's no medicine for you. Housing, there's no system in the government that can help you with housing. If you want to go to school, if your parents don't give you school fees, that's it. So where is the national wealth? What is it for?
So am I hearing hopelessness and helplessness?
Yeah, it's hopeless and helpless because for me, look, I told somebody I've never voted in my life until I came to Canada, because I asked myself, why should I vote? Because every government I come to power, I'm not included. Okay, as long as my father was not a general, my father is not a minister, I don't have a brother connected to government. Ordinary people, I live in Claratown. What does the government do for me in Claratown? Or I'm living, what is it? What is the program that is there that I can benefit? Social program. In the Scandinavian country, they have a welfare state. They build, these are rich countries, but they have it's a welfare state whereby the people benefit. Housing, education, health, they have to benefit. So I'm saying to the Liberian elite, we have to, the Liberian people need to benefit. The government needs to create a program where all the
Thank you. Sekou, your voice is low. Your voice is low now because probably somebody called you.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so just a restart and then we will get you. But this is leading us.
Is it good now?
Yeah, it's good. But let me announce, especially to our local callers in Monrovia, if you want to join the call in Liberia, please. The numbers are on the screen. George.
Yeah. Am I clear?
Yes.
Yeah. So I suggest when it comes to the political unity, for me, the presidential system is not working. Yes.
Sekou, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
It looks like it's not clear. So just restart your phone because you may not be hearing me correctly. All right. We'll come to solutions because we want national unity. We want to foster national unity. You know, not because I'm all the way from God's back, I shouldn't benefit from the things that my country is supposed to give me. And how do I do that? I want to contribute. I mean, if you want to. So George, our numbers are on the line. Please announce the numbers in Liberia.
Okay, so wherever you are on the lovely Saturday afternoon like this, and you're listening to the program, focus on Liberia on Kear Radio 95.9. The numbers are called 0881-871-670 and 0777-959-959, 0881-871-670 and 0777-959-959. The numbers are called and be a part on the show this afternoon.
And the question I want them to answer is how, and that's what we're answering now. How do we foster national unity? What do we do now so we can achieve national unity starting today? Glendy,
can I
go
end
first.
my point?
Yeah, sure. And your point?
Yeah. So I was saying that this system of government we've been practicing, where one man is commander-in-chief, he cannot be reached, the legislature is invincible. I think we need to kind of go back. We can't be doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result. I think Liberia should try the parliamentary system where the president can be questioned. He can be a member of parliament where we can question you. We can be able to ask you about your program. You should be able to defend them before the people. And also, the opposition party can participate. Opposition leader can also be in government and be having a live questioning and debate with the ruling party, so we can have an understanding of what is going on. Because usually this type of system we have, when the president becomes God, then the opposition becomes Satan, attacking. We don't really understand this system of government yet. So anytime somebody wins election, they become God. You can't reach them anymore. Then the opposition now is become the devil. Anything they say is attacked. We got to change it. Let all of us meet in one room. Let have one, remove the Senate and then the House. The bicameral system is too expensive. Why do we have this bicameral system and paying this guy a huge amount of money when they say the country is poor? So let's close down all these bicameral systems. Just have one house where we let all opposition parties are represented. We have debate. The president is questioned. He's a member of parliament, and we can be able to debate policies. So nobody will say, "Oh, I'm not in government. That's why I can't do anything." So opposition leader will be in the parliament right now discussing bills, rejecting, voting against the decision of the ruling party. Then we can have a participatory democracy. This is how our ancestors ruled our empires and kingdoms. Every ethnic group was represented. That's why you didn't have tribalism in African empires like we have now, because every ethnic group was represented at the palace of the king, and debate was done. That was the real democracy that we used to have. So I'm saying let's go back to participatory democracy. We don't want an invisible president, invincible. He cannot be reached. He's God, Alpha and Omega. He's high on top. We want a president that is in the parliament that we can question, that can answer questions, and we want opposition that is also participating in government. That's my submission.
Thank you. Sekou does not want Almighty God as president where the rest of us are sitting. So, or the opposition at government boom. Anybody can clip them. Nobody, the referee is not going to blow. Let me bring in some colors here. Our first color is Kalabo Gonglo. Kalabo, you're alive.
Yes, good show. Good morning, guys. I'll add my voice to the last speaker, Mr. Keller, Sekou Keller, right? I hope I'm saying it right.
Yes, you are right.
I tend to agree with Sekou's argument because I'm a strong supporter of the argument that there can be no unity between the rich and the poor. If you look at the structure of the state, poverty is actually the action and action of governments. Government around the world, they send the masses of the people, their citizens, into poverty by what they do to them and what they do against them and what they fail to do for them. So in the mix of that unequal relationship, we can talk about unity. Specifically in the case of Liberia, it has an interesting history. If you look at what existed between the settlers and the indigenous, then the indigenous taking over really from the templates of the settlers and probably getting it, in fact, stressing it beyond what the settlers could do. It presents a complicated situation here, that our own people are now the masters and they are increasing, they are sending mass number of our people into poverty. So we can't talk about unity in the midst of these tenants. So I would join Sekou, not maybe calling for the change of presidential system. But if you look across Liberia today, Liberia is increasingly ethnic now. Our politics is becoming increasingly ethnic. If you look in Nimba, ethnicity is a foundation of politics in Nimba. And across the country, ethnicity is actually emphasized over quality, over national characteristic, because Liberia has no national characteristic that anyone can aspire to say, I'm a Liberian. What makes you a Liberian? Everybody will answer this question differently. If you ask them, what makes you a Liberian? Say, I was born a Liberian. That's all. That's the only thing. But there should be a deeper answer than that. Why do you think you are a Liberian?
Deeper answer like what? What should it be like?
Dennis, I'm not. You try more time to talk.
Yeah, just give me that. I love meat.
Let me lay my point first, then I come to your question. I have some thoughts here that I want to put out first. So I would think that we should begin to look at maybe the proportional representation system. Where the way our politics is currently structured, and I'm making this recommendation in the light of the current situation in the country, so that everybody will be represented in the parliament based on the proportion of vote, the percentage of vote they get. Because as it stands, which is basically winner takes all, and once you become president, look at what is happening today. You call the president and say, I want my party to produce a speaker. If you don't want it, we'll find a way to get you out. You know? So that kind of situation, we can't even talk about national unity in the midst of that. You know?
Hold on.
So,
Yeah, hold on.
for example, like you're asking a question.
Hold on.
We can say, in other countries, if you ask me, what makes me a Liberian, I would not say because I was born in Nimba. You know, of course, that would be the other answer for me to give. That could be the answer for you to give. But I could say, oh, I'm the Liberian because I believe Liberia is a place where every citizen has a right to do 1, 2, or it's a country that does 1, 2, 3. But we don't have that kind of thing that we can agree on. We don't know what Liberia does for our citizens, except for sending them into mass. We don't know. So we can give different answers, you know.
Okay.
And that's why I agree with Sekou points, you know. We need to restructure the state, fundamentally restructure the state.
Thank you.
Give a new character to the state. Then we can all aspire for unity.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Dennis, I have a call from my end.
Sure.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes? Your name, where you calling from?
Yes, this is Brown from Johnsonville.
From Johnsonville. Mr. Dennis, you can hear the callers?
Yes. But
Okay.
increase the volume if you can.
Okay. Yes, we can hear you. Welcome to the program, my brother.
Yes, thank you. And let me thank Kenabu. I think he's the one that left the line. So I give him. And he laid some of the point. But you see, the point we have in our country now is that they hindsight, you know, or manifesto of political parties. We don't have national, you know, manifesto. In key infrastructure, the road network, the education, the health, so that even any government that comes to power will follow those trends. But we need to have a national, you know, dialogue so that these programs can be drafted and then they are there. So when you come to power, whatever party, you will have your own, maybe other program that will maybe infuse the citizen, but that you don't have to deviate from maybe the role, ensuring that there's quality education, good health services. But let me come to the point. I'm glad that was listening. See, one of the things now is that he said it right. Ima is the epicenter of our policy for now because the growing population. Ima, maybe in the next 10, 15 years, they need to go to 1 billion voting people. So, Ima has to be thinking that to have that whole Ima on a two senators is a creation of divisions. Take for example, Grand Bassa. They were taking out of Grand Bassa today, they got 4 senators. See, Grand Gide, they were taking out of Grand Gide, they got 4 senators. And Grand Crew, and even the Papua and Lofa County. So, to have that bulk of the population, and you say, put the 2 senators, there will always be chaos during election. So, Nima got to think, divine Nima, I know it's a kind of taboo that no political leader or no or say who don't want to talk to nobody. Then you talk, then you mean like you're against people. But when you divide Nima into 2, there will be less tension between the banner and the deal because they are the major population or tribe in Nima. It will also give the lesser tribe in the place to that opportunity. So it means in one country dominated by say for example
Okay.
Yeah. Let's.
Okay, my brother.
Yeah. We got his point.
Okay, my brother. Thanks for calling. We'll lose you there.
Thank you. If we follow his logic, because the same thing happened in Grand Gire, the group of people divided. They say, let's have our own country. So they have their own country. Now, since they have the country, they still fight because the Putuopu and the people, they say, no, we from the Palipo, we got the capital city. People say, well, our place far more than your place. So the capital city. So what we're going to find is if you give them the chance, they're going to divide into 6 with the 6 subgroups. And if you go to the Palipo alone, they still have some clans. So to what extent we're going to be dividing? So dividing on based on let the Mano and the Gio divide. So and then the Crown will have their own county. We and Lolu will have their own county. So I don't know where you're going with that. But let me bring on Mr. Darling Warwood, who's online here. Darling, your life.
Yeah, okay. Dennis, thank you for having me. So from the first segment of the show, I think we were trying to find our footing. Like everybody was all over the place until Sekou came in and set the basis for the discussion. So here's what I would say. Liberia, the word Liberia and unity, national unity cannot be used in the same sentence.
There you go.
Yeah, you cannot be using Liberia and national unity. You can't put it both in the same sentence. That is just, it's not going to work. I would say this. I will start by saying that everything started from the onset, from the birth of Liberia, from the very beginning, when the settlers came. Those settlers that came, first of all, they didn't consider the Aborigines Liberians. They were excluded from everything political. They didn't even allow them to vote.
Is that rooted in facts or that you're what you're saying?
No, the country people that those settlers came and met, the country people, they didn't vote until William V. Stoneman say yes. I think this how you call it? There was this national conference where you said, "Oh, the country Baza Pele, Mano Pele, you both are all like you guys are like you can vote." So it just as late as in the 50s that.
But you have an indigenous chief justice, you have an indigenous vice president. So how can you say that? But go ahead, make your point.
I'm coming to that. That's why I say everything that is happening today in Liberia started from the beginning. It started from the founding of Liberia. There was no system set in place because the folks that came, the settlers that came, they didn't really have true law for this country. They didn't even consider this country to be their own. It was just some farmland where they can read and send their kids to the States and to America to attend all Ivy League schools. And then came 1980, where the people who call the Aborigines, the country people, they managed to take power after 130 years of settlers rule. Those people who came now and said, we have taken power, and we took power from it because they were corrupt, they practiced nepotism, marginalization. They even started doing worse. They did not demolish the system. In fact, they improved on it. And fast forward today, we cannot be talking national unity when you have Joseph Botha. He had gone to work and fired almost all citizens for his government. His party went to work and staged a coup and illegally removed an elected speaker. Political parties in Liberia today are not based on ideology. They are based on one agenda. The agenda is to take power and loot and fill their own pocket. The system we have today, the government is making sure this system don't work. They are weakening the system because they do that to use it to their own advantage. So you can't be talking national unity when somebody is driving a car that costs $90,000 and somebody is walking in the rain to go to school. And you got kids sitting practically in the sun, no benches, no roof over their head in school. They go to school hungry. Some people don't want to go to school because the situation is deplorable. You can't be talking national. So here in America, I have lived in America.
So darling, what do we do?
What do we do?
Yeah. Let's do solutions.
It's nearly impossible because at this point now, the situation in Liberia is worse.
It's beyond repair, you say.
Everything in Liberia is based on tribalism, regionalism, sectionalism. They are dividing people because it's a divide and conquer rule that's going on right now. Nobody cares about Liberia or Liberians. And I will bring you to America. The America that you and I live, I have never heard any time or any day about National Unity Conference or symposium or whatsoever. What do they need? They don't need that because the government has created the environment where businesses thrive, where people go to school and they're able to get jobs. Where there's job for everybody, there's a place for everybody. The illiterate, the illiterate, the educated, you got a place for everybody. So why do you need national unity? But compare that to Liberia? No, it's not the same. The government that is supposed to create the environment for people to thrive, the very government is making sure that people do not thrive. They are literally starving people to death.
Thank you, darling.
So it's deliberate. I will end on this note by saying our government is deliberately killing our people, and they don't even want national unity. Because when they national unity, they will not win election. Thank you.
Thank you. That picture darling painted is so gloomy. So I want us to end with solutions. Glendy, I was coming to you on solutions. What can we do as we move towards national unity? We want that to be realized. What do we need to do?
So I think the last caller, I kind of chuckled when he said we're all over the place. He himself is all over the place with no solutions. He himself, number one, I don't think he's a nationalist. I really don't think he loves Liberia. Because if you're saying that you're Liberian, you want better for your country, and he seems to claim that he has all of the right words to say, we are all over the place, but you're saying that you don't want better for your, because when you're saying Liberia and national unity cannot be talked about in the same line, then what are you saying? Then you don't want better for your country. We who are all over the place, we want a better Liberia. So we can come and say, and we can come and talk about that. We can't just close it out and say, oh, Liberia. It's almost like he's saying Liberia is doomed. Because he like me lives outside Liberia. No, I'm not in his category. I want better for my country. I think Liberia and national unity can be on the same line. But this is the thing, Dennis. National unity is not just the responsibility of the government. It's also our responsibility as citizens of the country. Because this is the thing. Speaking truth to power is important, regardless of which side of the aisle you find yourself on. That's why I try my best. I may not be as unbiased in every situation, but in most situations, I try to speak objectively. That even though I supported Joseph Yiman Boyka as president, I feel there are instances in this government where they failed the Liberian people and that they are not doing some of the things they have promised. I'm going to start from there, holding them accountable to some of those things. And it doesn't mean for me, because I supported his presidency, I supported him because I didn't want George Weah. But the fact that you have now come, you must do different from the previous government. Those things we condemn George Weah from, you cannot be continuing to do those same things. So that national unity that we want, there's two folds. We as citizens have our part to play, and the government has their part to play. One of the things I think Kelly said was, what can I say that Liberia has done for me as a citizen? What can I say are my benefits from Liberia? We have a lot of experts outside of Liberia. Dennis, you could be using MCSS as a teacher. But when you leave, if you were to leave where you are right now and go home, will Liberia be able to take care of your needs there? Have they reached out to experts that they have outside of the country to see how these people can help revamp and fix some of the situations? So I think the national unity is possible in Liberia, and I think each of us needs to be accountable to ourselves. And also, when you're accountable to yourself to speak truth to power, then you can now hold the government accountable to be able to do those things they're promising. All hope is not lost for Liberia. It can be done. It's difficult. It may seem far-fetched, but let me tell you, in Dubai, they say all things are possible. And there's nothing impossible if we have the right kind of leaders, or if we have the legal leaders that will focus on the interests of our country, we can move forward. So I'm not hopeless for Liberia.
Thank you. Dr. Mali, what are the solutions? What can we do to make national unity possible? Or are you saying it's impossible, so we should just...
No, I think I
Forget
would
it.
agree with the panel that even though it's almost 178 years now, according to Seri, 2 decades gone by. But here's my take. I think we're being stigmatized by this slave legacy in this society. And until we can break that shackle, which I thought was going to be done 1980. 1980, people were just killed, but the institution was still left in place. That was my disappointment. And up to today, the institution, the slave institution, and that tendency still continue up to today. So here is my take. We said the American Liberian marginalized our people. Now the indigenous, exclusively indigenous government are running the country now. They are even
We are still going to the
marginalized.
problem. I want
Yeah,
solutions now.
I'm coming now. Yes, Mr. Host and CEO. I agree.
Yeah.
So, solution number one, I would suggest that we reconstruct the entire society.
Like how?
Do away with that slave name, Liberia, replace it, replace
With
the
what?
constitution with a different constitution of our own. A constitution of our own, because we're trying to locate our own identity right now. Everything I said, it's not our identity. These are all borrowed things. Don't do away with all these things. Do away with the flair. Have your own flair. All right. Have one language taught in all our schools. We don't have to hang on English. People go to the United Nations. People come to interpret for them. We can take a vile language, for instance, and it be our national language in our country. All right. And we all speak it. Then the next thing now is we need to introduce what I call a patriotic concept of looking at things. Like Sari said, their portion, we got to force it on the student. Love this country. Like this country. This is the country you have. Then we, the so-called educator, we can come together and draft our own textbooks. And draft our own history. And even take that slave legacy history out of the whole thing. You see? And the next thing now, we need to reform the judiciary in the new society. Reform the judiciary so it'll be on par and satisfy everybody. Then the equal distribution of our resources, when it comes to that, so the cultural impunity will disappear by then. At least we'll see ourselves like Liberian. In the first place, you know how many people calling themselves Liberian? The last time I visited the maritime center here, I saw a lot of people that all of them call themselves Liberian, my brother. And those guys getting huge number of money. So when we change that name, then we'll come home now and rather know what name we want, then what identity we want. Then with that, I think national unity can be achieved.
Thank you. Sekou, are you there? Let me go to Mohammed. Mohammed, solutions. How can we achieve national unity? What do we need to do now? We are here now.
We're here, and what you heard from one of the callers, I think was Darling, is something that we all have. A lot of us have stated in some, have expressed in some form, one form or another. We are here now. We have tried to get out of this. We have not gotten out of this. Dr. Mali said in 1980, we thought it was the beginning of turning the new leaf. It never happened. People were executed. People died. And it never transformed into anything substantial. So again, a missed opportunity. In that tragedy, something good would have come out of the tragedy. It never happened at all. So what you had is one group replacing another group and doing the same thing, if not worse. And then a decade later, then there was the war. So out of the war now, in some countries, like the United States, is out of the crucible of conflicts that you have these reforms, out of the crucible of the American Civil War, you have Reconstruction in the South. When Reconstruction broke down, after all of that, the Civil Rights Movement arose, and we were allowed to vote. We're voting now because of what the Civil Rights Movement did. When it comes to Liberia now, we just stuck in neutral. No, I want to take that back. We didn't get stuck in neutral. The new group became worse than the old group. What you have now, you mentioned Dennis, an indigenous Supreme Court justice, indigenous president, indigenous, speaker, and all these president pro tem. What are your excuses now? Oh, you just wanted to kill these other people just for sitting in that seat to steal? These people have different lanes for themselves. They drive in different lanes than the rest of the citizens. They drive in big flashy cars than the rest of the citizens. Dennis, almost. I think for now, we are doomed right now.
You still stating the problem. You don't have solutions for me?
What we've tried making changes. Okay, let's make a change as a solution. Let's vote this let's vote this party out in 6 years.
We've been doing that, right? We voted Ellen out, we voted out.
And that's my point. So okay, let's vote, let's wait, let's campaign, you and I and everybody, let's campaign hard for another group to put them in. Dennis is going to be the same. Who's winning the wins right now? Who's very popular? Who's popular? Who's on the verge of coming back again? George Weah is coming on the verge of coming back again. So then where are we going now? It's the same. So where do you go? You go to the Constitution. You say, okay, let's make changes in the Constitution. Somebody, one of the panelists, I think, suggested a parliamentary system. What good is it going to be for you if it's the same people? The same people. What good is any of that going to do for you? All that we're talking now. We've tried, Dennis. How many elections has it been since the end of the Civil War? When you think that there's hope here, and then we hit a dead end. So I don't know, other than what I'm doing now, other than what you are doing, other than what we can do at the micro level, there's a lot of good people out here. There's a lot of good, decent people. I hear panelists come on here, people who have NGOs, some people have schools. I think, one of the panelists on here, I forgot who said that he's running a school he's running, I think, 2 schools in Liberia. I forgot who the panelist was that said that one time. There are people here who have scholarship programs, who are doing different things on the micro level, but that is not enough. And one of our colleagues here was running and was teaching kids online, right? Was doing that, teaching them history. Great, but it's not enough. It's not enough when you have a dominant leadership, which Liberia has been, the formation of Liberia is on a dominant leadership, a dominant presidency, a dominant executive branch, and then the judicial, then the executive, not the executive, legislature. When they're not doing much, when they're not doing anything at all, and what they're doing is fostering corruption, fostering the same old, it's going to be really, really hard. It looks like we're doomed. The other day I said we were doomed. So we have to come back again and think of another solution. I don't know what it is right now, but this is not it. It's not working as it is. As you and I speak right now, the opposition, we're going to have political prisoners. You never had that. You probably didn't have that under George Weah, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, I don't think. But now you're going to begin to see political prisoners now. Why are we going back to the 50s? Dennis, I thought we're done with the 50s on the top of where you have all these political prisoners going to Belayala and stuff like that, and post-Taki and stuff like that. Why are we returning to the dark days of Liberia? So yes, if we're doomed. We are doomed. This is a 80-some-odd-year-old president who is a one-term president from what we've heard. But look at the competition already for his job. Look at the competition already. The vice president is not doing anything. He's campaigning to be the next president. He's not doing his job. And so again, we're doomed. Lastly, Dennis, we have people who are stealing our resources. They're robbing the Liberian state. It's so sad. And these people come over here and we open up our churches, our buildings, our mosques, our places for them to come and speak to us. Like, what are you coming to speak to me for? Why aren't you in Nima County? Why aren't you sitting there in Montserrat going to your districts and talking to these people? So again, we're doomed. I think we are.
And I don't think we are doomed. I think it may be hard. Or
for now we are. For now we are. So tell me, Dennis, what is your solution? What is your solution?
Well,
let me turn the table.
The solution is to keep doing what we are doing and educate the people more so that they see reason to, because we have to move the people towards a shared goal. What is it that we are all against? What is it that we are all for? If people get to understand that and rally around it, I think we can do better.
If you don't mind,
we are not even against corruption.
Dennis, if you don't mind, please, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I wanted to land my thought a little bit.
Okay,
yeah.
But I want to give you, since you give us more questions when we answer, let me give you more.
All right, go ahead.
You're excellent writer. You wrote on the listserv. How many years ago was that? Or during the Ellen Johnson government, when we used to write these articles. When we write these articles with prescriptions of what needed to be done. We moved from there, from Ellen to where? Okay, and then we went to where, and then now with Baga. Has any of those, go back to your articles, anything you write in those articles, did anything change?
Yes, things will change.
No, did it change?
No, we have moved away. We have improved. Like I said before, if we had telephone, if we had social media, the war wouldn't have devastated us the way it did. Because you'll be in Bannersville and they tell you, oh, in Carwell, they're dividing food, because you don't have anybody to talk to, you start to go. But now with social media, with cell phone, that can happen again. So we are chipping away a little bit. I think it may take a while, but it's going to come. Let's see. As I was saying, even now, we are not against corruption, because we are only against corruption if it doesn't benefit us, if the other people are in power. I mean, I'm surprised, if not astonished, that people that were complaining right now, they are in power and everything is good. But we have 8 minutes to close, and I want us to leave it there. Let me, for 1 minute each, get your closing comment so that we can close. George, I hope you are there and there are no colors. Dr. Malo, you have 30 seconds for your closing.
Yes, you see, I think Sherry have all right to struggle with the issue of no solution. Sometimes you want to go that direction, I'm telling you. But here is my issue. We have had the population of corrupt generation in our country for a long time, even increasing right now. There is no way you have election in 2029, you will not employ any of the corrupt people. Look at what's happening in this government right now. They are employing a lot of recycle and corrupt people, you see. So there is no way a government will come in 2029, they will not employ, they will not give jobs to the corrupt people, you see. So it is unfortunate. But my solution here is that we need to reconstruct this society and do away with the slave stigma.
Thank you. Thank you. Glendy and Sekou, you're closing, if you are there. If you're not, Mohammed, you're closing.
Yeah, I think that there are people that can be appointed into positions of government who may be incorruptible. They are there. There are people there. There are people in the diaspora. They've not been tapped. They will never be tapped because of their views. The views that we express now are not popular with the ruling elite. the bourgeoisie. This is not popular with them. You know, you're hitting them verbally in their pocketbooks. You're talking about their pocketbooks. They don't like that. These people are very sensitive. From the president on down, they are very super sensitive about what you say. You think they're not watching you? They'll watch you. There's a reason why they're not calling you to be a superintendent, because they watch you and what you say and what you do. You try to balance. You're patriotic about your country. They don't love patriots, my brother. They do not love patriots. They love sycophants. You should have been a sycophant sitting on here praising them every day, and then next thing you know, you're going to get a call one day, and they say, "Oh, come on down."
We have 2 seconds to close.
I'm disappointed by some friends that I have that are sycophantic right now. Good friends that I had that I used to call comrades, militants. Look at how they have let me down.
You talking about Mark Jabata and others?
Don't talk about my friend.
Glennie, you have 15 seconds for your closing.
So it's great being here. We all have one common denominator, and that is Liberia. And so whenever we have an opportunity to come and talk about our country, we'll make ourselves available. Thank you, Dennis, and thank you everyone who's been on.
George, tell my people in Sino, in Bannersville, Kaba, Nukutown, everywhere, bye-bye.
Okay, so wherever you are, it's time now we come to our end of the program, Focus on Liberia. Allow us to join the station on Tuesday for the repeat, of Focus on Liberia, and Thursday we'll be back here again. So you all have yourself a great weekend.
On that note, we close with our song that says, "We are all Liberians." Have a good day, and may God richly bless you.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home.